What's she up to now? Do you like this? This is a puzzle. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world of business. And I'm doing a new training program, and I joined a new coaching program. And one of the first things that we're challenged to do is go get a puzzle. And I love this analogy, and do the puzzle. And why do you do the puzzle? The leader of its mentor taught him this, and I think it's fascinating because I was talking about it in my idiom. The idiom I share in the Supersize Your Business group today, Jack of all trades, master of none, talks about one of the most important skills that any of us can have, any of us human beings can have, is to know how to learn, right? That's how Jack of all trades become Jack of all trades, or Jill of all trades become Jill of all trades. Or I'm sure we're going to come up with a gender neutral term for Jack and Jill. There's going to be something in between that we use for describing going forward, at least in the times we're facing in the United States right now, which is kind of unimaginable and unbelievable, my personal opinion. But one of the challenges, he said, is his mentor said, go get a puzzle. Go get a puzzle that means something to you. Now, it was my birthday, so I actually asked my son and his daughter, my beautiful granddaughter, to go out and pick me out a puzzle. And they picked me out like a perfectly beautiful, awesome puzzle. And I'm glad I gave them a limit on pieces because it's got 500 pieces. Now, if you remember, I am visually challenged. I gave them a couple of instructions. I said it had to be less than 1,000 pieces, preferably 500 and maybe just a couple hundred because I didn't want it to take forever. And it couldn't be one of those puzzles. My son's like, well, I'll get you the all-white puzzle. I'm like, don't you dare. It's an all-white puzzle with like 20,000 pieces, all the exact same shape. How would you put, or not the exact same shape, but, almost. How would you put that together? That would drive me bonkers. So I said, pick out a puzzle that you know I would like. And of course, peach background, my favorite color, my granddaughter picked out, and colorful birds because they know I love colorful things. And I think she would probably have gotten me a kitty cat, but my son steered her clear to the birds because birds are cool. This is just a very cool looking puzzle. So the point of having and doing the puzzle is to know that, okay, well, there's this graphic representation of the puzzle, but is it the puzzle? No, it's just a vision, something that we're working toward. And then putting the pieces together. Well, how do you do a puzzle? Have you ever done a puzzle? My granddaughter can do puzzles now, and she's 5, and she's been doing them since she was probably 2, where I taught her, what did I teach her? I taught her how to find all the edge pieces. First find the corners, then find all the edge pieces, separate them out, and try to put the edge together that matches the puzzle. And then you'll find, and you just, different things in the puzzle that you can find and group together and sort and organize and find ways to make it easy to get the puzzle together. Then you'll try, and you'll put puzzle pieces in the wrong place sometimes, and you'll be, through trial and error, which is how we learn, how we go through life, how we get good at and master anything is through trial and error. We have a lot more failures putting together a puzzle, building a business, trying to learn how to do anything in life than we have successes. It only takes one real success to get us where we want to go, to move us to where we want to go. So I actually love this puzzle analogy. I love this, and I'm actually doing it. I don't know about y'all, but when I learn something, or I'm training, or I'm reading something, I read a lot of things, a lot more than I could ever apply, but I apply a lot of things that I learn. I try them out, and I see, does that work for me? Does that fit for me? And if it does, I keep doing it. But I do get engaged and participate and learn and figure out the bits and the pieces that work for me, knowing that no one guide or guru or mentor or contact or person is going to ever have all the answers for me. If you're looking to one person to have all the answers for you for your whole life, you're in trouble, because that's not how life works. People come in and out of our lives for a reason, to show us something, usually to show us something about ourselves. Sometimes we think it's for us to see something about them, and sometimes it indeed is, but a lot of the times it's just to show us something about ourselves. Maybe we're not so nice in one of our personal relationships, and a person comes into our life that isn't so nice to us in our personal relationship. And so that's to show us that anybody can be, the perpetrator or the receiver of good and bad behavior. Our challenge today for Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You was all about reading, which is right up my alley. Although as my vision deteriorates more and more, it's really a challenge for me to read, and I'm having to switch to audiobooks, having to use the big screen TV to blow stuff up if I can't get it in audio form, and trying to learn and grow personally, because that's part of my journey. Part of my journey is having crummy vision, and so are like almost no vision, but I still show up. I still figure it out. I'm not going to throw in the towel and give up on my life and just sit around like a zombie for the next, God, my grandma lived to be 99. She was a month and a week or something short of being 100 years old. My mom is 84 and she's healthier and in better shape and has a lot more energy than I do. So chances are I'm hanging around for at least another quarter century. So I better make something of it. I better figure out how I'm going to get through that and not only just get through it, right? Is life very fun if we're just getting through it? No, I want to take the bull by the horns and actually enjoy the next 25 or 40 or how many ever years we live. Maybe, who knows? How do we know how long we're going to live? Science and things are changing all the time, so you never know. Maybe I'll live to be, 100 like my grandma did. Yikes. Scary to even contemplate me around for another 40 years. Anyway, that's what I'm working on. It's a new 12-month coaching program, which I'm actually excited about because it's in alignment with doing one thing every day that centers you, that annual challenge. So I don't think it's an accident. I have never heard of this person before. I have never listened to anything this person does before. I've never been involved with them before, but I'm definitely excited about being a part of the program. And it's areas of my life that I probably, just like being centered, it might have been another 10 years before I got around to really thinking about and working on being centered. Yet it's kind of backwards. Once we're centered and we know ourselves really, really well, everything else we want to do and accomplish in life, the impact we want to have in the world, the influence we want to have, being an example for those we love and care about is much easier. It just falls into place naturally. How do we train our kids or teach our kids to be a certain way? By setting the example. I've talked about that a lot, especially in some of the idioms and the proverbs that have come up in the last couple of years. We can talk until we're blue in the face. Same with our businesses and employees and people that we work with, coworkers. We can talk a good game, but if our behavior isn't matching what we're saying, guess what takes precedence? What we're doing, how we're behaving. Look at politicians that have bad behavior sometimes. They're a great example because they're in the public eye. Or famous Hollywood people or whatever, famous people, anybody famous, I guess. They're in the spotlight. When they do something wrong, it's like they get treated a gazillion times worse than we normal people because they're in the public eye, and everybody thinks that they have a right to criticize them because they're famous or in the public eye. Yet, sometimes we just have to remind ourselves that everybody is human. We all have strengths and weaknesses. We all have, good and evil and positives and negatives within us. And maybe before we're so quick to judge, we should look in the mirror, pretend this is a mirror, not a magnifying glass. We should look in the mirror and we should say, have I ever done anything like that? Have I ever lied? Have I ever cheated? Have I ever made a mistake? Have I ever done anything wrong? And if you have, maybe we shouldn't be judging other people so harshly. Now, we should be holding them accountable because we're all accountable. We're all 100% accountable for the things that we do, the things that we say, the way we show up in the world. It doesn't mean that we won't make mistakes. We're going to all make mistakes, but we need to learn from them. But we're still accountable for, hey, I made that mistake. I really screwed up. I'm going to learn this lesson so I don't do it in the future. All right, that's it. That's what I'm working on. Go out, have an amazing day. Daylight savings time kind of tipped me over yesterday. Had an overnight, a sleepover with my granddaughter at one of my sister's house because her husband and son are away at spring break. So we had an absolutely fun sleepover, but I stayed up way too late, got no sleep. And then last night, tried to catch up as well, and so it put me a little behind. So today's kind of a planning, organizing, catch-up day, get ready for the new thing, keep working on the projects that I have been working on. And then I guarantee that as I'm going through this new coaching program, it will positively impact and affect everybody that I'm working with, everything that I'm doing. As I get better, I'm better able to serve people. As you get better, you're better able to serve those people that are important to you, those people you're here to serve. Those people, and by serve, I mean who you're there to be a part of their life, who you're here to impact and have a positive influence on. All right, have an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.